Welcome to a new episode of our daily debate, where we will be tackling the repercussions of the war of the U.S. and Israel on Iran and the Middle East and the Gulf states, and its repercussions on the energy prices, which is very devastating today, and it has shock waves through the global energy market, especially with the increasing prices of the energy today. And we'll be shedding light about that with our dear guest in the studio, Engineer Mohamed Atia, our energy affairs specialist. Thank you so much, Engineer Atia, for being our guest for the daily debate for tonight.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
And we will start with our top stories. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Civil Aviation Sameh al-Hifni. This was followed by another meeting between the President and Dr. Sameh al-Hifni. Major General Walid Da'arif, head of the Armed Forces Engineering Authority, the official spokesperson for the Presidency, stated that the two meetings addressed the Ministry of Civil Aviation's efforts to develop the Egyptian airports and enhance their operational systems in accordance with the latest international standards. In this context, the progress of Terminal 4 at Cairo International Airport was reviewed, which aims to increase the airport passenger and aircraft capacity. The meetings also followed up on projects to develop and upgrade the Cairo, Luxor, Alexandria and El Alamein airports, as well as the construction of new passenger terminal at the new administrative capital and the establishment of St. Catherine and El Arish international airports. Ambassador Mohamed Atia, the official spokesperson, indicated that the meeting also reviewed the latest developments regarding the privatization of the Egyptian airports and the efforts to attract more local and foreign investment to the promising sector. The meeting also followed up on the operations of the holding company of 4 airports and air navigation and the performance of Egypt Air Holding Company during the fiscal year 2024-2025. Furthermore, the meeting addressed the ongoing efforts to implement digital transformation, particularly at the Cairo International Airport, undertaken by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Civil Aviation Authority and affiliated companies. This transformation aims to improve internal operational efficiency and enhance services provided to the public, thereby streamlining producers and offering advanced digital services. The meeting also discussed the ongoing coordination with the Ministry of Interior to activate electronic passport gates, facilitating travel procedures and improving the passenger experience on all flights in the coming phase, as well as phasing out the use of paper passport cards. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli has affirmed that the recent fuel hikes will be reviewed once exceptional global conditions driving the surge in energy costs ease. Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, Madbouli set out the reasons behind the increases, which saw fuel and gas prices rise by between 14% and 30% effective Tuesday. He warned that legal action, including referral to the military prosecution, would be taken against anyone found hoarding the goods. The cabinet attributed the move to escalating regional conflict as the U.S.-Israel war on Iran enters its 11th day, driving sharp rises in energy prices and unsettling the global market. As the war between the United States and Iran continues to intensify, global energy markets are feeling this shock. Oil prices are climbing rapidly, supply chains are under pressure, and fears are growing over the stability of one of the world's most critical energy corridors, which is the Strait of Hormuz. The strategic waterway, which lies at the heart of the tensions involving Iran and regional powers, carries nearly 1/5 of the world's crude oil supplies. More details.
escalating war involving Iran is sending shockwaves through global energy markets, pushing oil prices sharply higher and raising serious concerns about the stability of global energy supplies. At the center of these fears lies the strategic Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical maritime checkpoints in the world. As tensions intensify and the risk of disruptions grows, the world faces the prospect of a major energy shock that could reshape economies, affect daily life, and intensify the high-stakes geopolitics of oil. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow waterway linking the oil-rich Persian Gulf to global markets through the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. Despite its limited width, the passage plays an outsized role in the global energy system. Roughly one-fifth of the world's crude oil, about 20 million barrels per day, passes through the strait, along with a large share of global liquefied natural gas exports. Major energy producers including Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar and Iran rely heavily on this route to transport oil to international markets. Any military escalation in or around the strait therefore carries immediate global consequences. In recent weeks, the war involving Iran has triggered dramatic movements in energy markets. Oil prices have surged above $100 per barrel in response to fears that shipping routes could be disrupted or blocked entirely. The price spike reflects not only current supply concerns, but also what analysts call a geopolitical risk premium, where markets factor in the possibility of future disruptions. Shipping costs for oil tankers have also risen significantly as insurance rates climb and vessels attempt to avoid dangerous waters. The result is growing volatility in global energy markets and mounting anxiety among governments and investors. If the conflict were to disrupt shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, the global economy would likely experience a severe supply shock. Oil is the backbone of modern economic activity, powering transportation, industry and much of the world's energy infrastructure. Higher oil prices quickly ripple through the economy, raising the cost of fuel, electricity and transportation. This in turn drives up the prices of food, manufactured goods and essential services. For many countries already struggling with inflation and economic uncertainty, such a shock could significantly slow economic growth. The impact would be particularly severe for major oil-importing economies in Asia and Europe. Countries such as China, India, Japan and South Korea depend heavily on energy shipments from the Gulf region, and a disruption in supplies could force them to seek alternative sources at higher prices. Supply chain disruptions could also spread across global trade networks, affecting manufacturing output, shipping costs and international commerce. In extreme scenarios, prolonged disruptions could even push the global economy towards recession.
And welcome back to our dear guest, Engineer Mohamed Atia, our Energy Affairs Specialist. Engineer Atia, of course, the war in the region, the U.S. war against Iran, and of course the attacks on many oil facilities, the threats against the Strait of Hormuz and the navigation. To what extent the current situation in the region is affecting the energy prices in the world?
Firstly, I'd like to mention that the current situation is very dynamic, affected by several parameters like geopolitical issues and diplomatic signs. I would like to highlight that two days ago, the oil print price was about more than $100 per barrel. And once Mr. Donald Trump has stated that the war is about to end, the oil price is going down about below $90 per barrel. So we are not in a stable war or in a stable condition. We are in unstable condition. But the main important parameter which could make the most advantage of this advantage on this file is the homeless state. I think all of us is following the news about the closure or disclosure of the state of Homs. But when we following the current situation there, we found that it is not a full closure. It is partial closure, depending on the nationality of the ships, nationality of the containment. So what we should follow till now, we should follow the dynamic state of Donald Trump's statements and the Iranian conflict.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we did receive very conflicting statements today by, as you have kindly mentioned, by U.S. President Donald Trump and from the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, which are contradicting what the U.S. President did mention about soon end to the war. So how do you read this conflicting statements, and what could be the repercussion in the coming few hours on the energy prices and commodity prices as well?
In my opinion, the Strait of Hormuz will go up in like 20 to 50%. This will affect on the oil prices to be within below $100 per barrel, will not exceed $100. And on the other hand, the gas. You know that about 20 to 25% of the liquefied natural gas of all over the world is passing through this narrow step. So this is one of the important parameters that affect the war, because the countries who has been affected of this component, the gas, is the different countries, EU countries, Asia countries, and these countries are already in bad condition regarding the economic state. So this is the main important thing. Who will push this war to end? If EU countries, I think you are following the news, you didn't see any contribution from EU countries or Asian countries regarding this conflict.
Not from China, not from the EU states, nothing.
Yeah. Be careful that the most affected countries who make the extra disadvantage for this conflict is the EU and China and Japan, because these countries are the most countries of importing the energy. And the increase of the prices regarding the oil and gas for these countries are affecting, as you said, and the report mentioned, the transportation fees and the fertilizer fees. The fertilizer cost will affect on the food cost, which is
it's a vicious circle here.
Yeah, there's food security and energy security issue, which is I think the most issue which any government will have to be careful.
Yes. So you have tackled a very important and very alarming point, sir, which is the increase in the oil prices would lead also to the increase in the raw materials, in the fertilizers, in all the components here of food and commodities as well. So to what extent also the supply chain would witness the influence here from the repercussions of this war, and the availability of commodities as well, since the navigation is also affected in the Red Sea and in the Strait of Hormuz in particular?
Of course, there is a big issue, but what we see currently, that the commodities are not affected severely by like lack of a commodity or lack of supply, but the transportation from country, the producer and the user of this commodity is going to use like safer and longer route, which is affect on the transportation fees, the price, the transportation fees, and also the the cost of safety of this,
the insurance
the insurance premium cost. So as you know, if we following the stocks values, we could find that most of commodities, especially chemicals, are affecting from this war. And the chemicals is not only affecting on the fertilizers and oil and gas, but they are affecting on all the manufacturing processes. So we are on the ground of like spike of everything if this war is continuing more than 1 month again.
With the statement today by the U.S. President, do you believe that we could witness some changes in the world markets and the oil prices and gold prices after some reassurances from his side that the war might not last for long and it's about to end?
I don't think this statement is like a clear statement. I could find dynamic statement from, as you said, U.S. statement in a way and Iranian statement in another way. So, in my opinion, this war will continue about 1 month or 2 months over than what already done. And but the Strait of Hormuz and the dynamic of oil and gas supply, in my opinion, it will go to a sustainable and stable process, because many of countries all over the world have been affected on that from this conflict, and U.S. and Iranian are also affected by that, especially Iran, because all the revenues of oil and gas inside the Iran is already decreased because of closing the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. government already have many revenues because of the increase in the cost, increase in the price of the oil, and especially they are using different routes. U.S. is transferring the oil and gas in different routes other than the Iranian routes.
Yes. Do you believe, sir, that the G7 or the OPEC Plus could actually start to think about the usage of the oil reserve in order to try to reduce the prices in the market, or nothing would be happening in the near future?
In my opinion, nothing will happen, because all the entities of the energy expectations and energy analysis doesn't mention this action, and because all of these countries are not expecting the main and the actual result of this war, and everyone expects different from each other. Some countries expect that this war will end tomorrow, and some countries stated that this war will end next year. So very dynamic.
Yes, and the figures are not very clear. How have the global markets, the energy companies and the commodities reacted to the crisis so far from your point of view, Doctor? Yes, sir.
My point of view is oil and gas companies now is targeting a new investment if the worst case scenario, if the oil price increase more than $150 per barrel. But on the other hand, which is a good point, the green energy companies. The green energy companies now is feeling very good because of the profitability and the visibility studies of the green projects is going up because of the difference between the price of the gas and the price of electricity by green energy in case of solar energy or wind energy. So
yes, you have raised a very important point, Engineer Atia, which is the usage of the green energy and renewable energy. Can we start to shift our interest now into the renewable energy and green energy more than the regular energy sources, which could be affected easily due to any geopolitical tensions?
I think Egypt is already on the track.
Yes, indeed.
The percentage of the green energy in the energy mix in Egypt is good, comparing with the average of the global market. And day by day, the vision of increasing the green energy percentage, comparing with the fossil fuels percentage, is going more obvious and more benefitable, because the price of gas are very volatile, and the recent 3 years since 2020, the prices of gas and the production of gas in Egypt, and the gap between the demand and the consumption in Egypt, which will affect on the energy bill, on the government budget, make a result of any investment in the green energy is a good investment, and not only on regarding the cost benefit analysis, but the strategic point of view.
Yes.
We are supporting this vision. We are supporting investing in the green energy, because as you see, and as all of Egyptian citizens see, the gas prices affect on the electricity prices, and the fossil fuels prices affect on the gasoline prices and the car refueling prices, which is affecting full in all the picture of the economic situation. Inflation will go up, and will affect on the economic growth will go down.
So, with all the increases here in the prices of the energy, are we witnessing here a short-term panic in the markets, or it is the beginning actually of a deeper structural energy crisis if the war did last for long?
We are estimating the different scenarios. The first scenario is the war is going like today, or like the recent activities, in medium term. I think it will affect only in like I said, to make the oil prices below $100 per barrel. But on the other hand, the second scenario is slowdown of the war. Especially after the last statement, this will affect on the price of the oil, which will go down to below $80 per barrel. The worst case scenario, which is the third scenario, is the severe conflict, which will affect on the oil prices and all the commodities to be increased from 10 to 50% increase, which will affect on the all commodities all over the world, and will affect also on the economic growth all over the world.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sir, nearly 20% of the world's oil supply is passing through the Strait of Hormuz. What are the consequences of disrupting the global supply chains, and what are the alternatives here if the war did last for long for this matter? Because, of course, we did see some disruption as well when Israel and Iran were in war in last June, and we are seeing here a more grave scenario at the current time. So how do you see the supply chain affected from such scenario, and what could be the way out for escaping such scenarios in the future?
Okay, we are talking about 20% of oil and about 25% of LNG. So these commodities with these capacities are in danger. This already will affect on the prices. But as you said, what are the alternatives? First one is purchasing the oil and gas from different regions. Like US
and we have to mention here as well that the EU is posing sanctions on the Russian oil and gas as well. So we are having many complicated scenarios as well.
But in my opinion, Donald Trump will not make the dual actions. He is acting on the Iranian conflict now. I don't think it will see with open eyes on the purchasing orders from Russia.
Yes.
But in my opinion, these commodities with these capacities, which are in danger, using other alternatives is depending on the capacity of this alternative. For example, Saudi Arabia and UAE are having different routes inside their countries, but the capacity of these routes, like east-west pipeline and UAE pipeline inside pipeline, the capacity is about 6 to 7 million barrels per day. So it is like 13 million barrels per day gap between the supply, oil and gas supply, which is passing from through the Strait of Hormuz. But on another hand, the issue of attacking the refineries, like in Bahrain and in Saudi Arabia, is affecting on the infrastructure itself, which is not accepted or having like alternative, because building infrastructure or rebuilding or like maintenance of this infrastructure will take like from weeks to months, which is not accepted from the oil and gas supply point of view.
Sir, economists are warning that the conflict actually could trigger stagflation and high inflation combined with the slow growth. How serious is that risk, and do you see that could happen if the war would drag on for a while?
It will be different from country to country. For example, Egypt is importing very high quantity of gas and oil products, and this affects on its budget.
Of course, because the prices are increasing as well.
Yeah, and once the price of, as you know, once the price of oil and gas increase, the transportation costs increase and all the products increase.
Indeed.
This situation will affect directly on the inflation rate and will affect on the decision which the central banks will take. So it depends on how much this country import the percentage of its energy mix or different commodities. But what will make the balance? The balance here is how much the commodities you already export. So a country like China is importing a high percentage of energy but exporting a high percentage of different products. So there is a balance.
There is a balance.
Yeah. In Egypt, we are targeting a model like that, but we have a high percentage of importing versus low percent of exporting.
Yes.
This will affect on the inflation rate.
Yes. Finally, sir, could this crisis push the world towards another global economic slowdown or recession?
It will happen if the duration of the war increased, the effect of the conflict and the targeting the strategic reserves and strategic oil and gas refineries is occurred. So it depends on the duration and the actions, the severity of the actions and the duration of the war. If these two components are merged with high severity and high duration, it will affect for sure for slowdown of the economic growth and affect all over the world economic growth.
So our hope here is, of course, for the war to end soon and to limit the very severe repercussions. Engineer Mohamed Atia, our energy affairs specialist, thank you so much, sir, for being our guest for tonight in our daily debate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And with that, we come to the end of this edition of our daily debate, where we have been tackling the repercussions of the war of the United States and Israel on Iran and the Iranian attacks against the Gulf states and its repercussion on the energy markets. Till tomorrow with another crew. Many thanks for watching.